Now, in this particular video, what we're going to do, we're going to look at a situation that really highlights the reason why I am such a proponent of discipline. Now, in this particular video, there's a certain form of discipline that's being employed that we have to address. Because you see, certain situations that come up in life, certain circumstances demand that a person have discipline. What do I mean by that? Well, let's get into the video and let's find out. From the video, this is the reason why I advocate for discipline. And in this particular instance, a part of discipline that comes into play is self-control, being able to hold oneself back. So let's get a little background on the video that we're watching. They are at a baseball game. This particular lady that's standing is a Red Sox fan, and evidently she is in the wrong seats. She's in seats that someone else has possibly purchased, but they decided not to come. But she's sitting in those seats nevertheless that are not hers. And then you'll notice that within the video, the gentleman that's sitting, he tries to get her attention to tell her that she has some friends that's sitting in another area that's waiting on her, even calling her by name, calling her Melissa. And as you see the conversation go forward, as you see them converse back and forth, there comes a point in time where the young man is speaking, and you can see this woman gathering spit in her mouth. It's a small fraction of time that you can see it, but it's there nonetheless. And she gathers this spit and she spits on this particular young man who is evidently trying to help her to find her seats. So what was the need for all of this commotion? She said in the video that she had been sitting in these seats the whole time. And so evidently she felt like because no one came, that was okay for her to do. Maybe that was part of, what she has done in the past. But when you have individuals that are telling you these seats are taken, these are not your seats, you're not supposed to be sitting here, and you know you're not supposed to be sitting in that particular area, then why not just get up and go to the area where you should be? But now, I must admit though, I am very, very proud of the young man. There are a lot of creators, a lot of content makers that may not agree with my position, but I am very, very proud of this young man. Let me tell you why. If you examine the video closely, it's not very long, but if you look at the size comparison between the young lady with the Red Sox coat on and the young man that's sitting, you'll find that the size is not equal. That young man has some size on him. But despite that, he was able to keep control of himself. But now, let's say, for instance, if he didn't have the capacity to control himself, can you see how difficult this situation would have become for the young lady? Because without a doubt, spitting on someone is probably one of the most, if not the most disrespectful things you could possibly do. To spit on someone. Usually when a human being spits, he's trying to get something out of his system, right? Whether that, be him reacting to having a cold or the flu or something like that, or something in your mouth that's maybe not as good as you expected it to be, or something that's just outright nasty. What is the tendency? You spit it out. You spit it out. And so, like I mentioned, she meant to disrespect this young man. She did. And that's why I think discipline is so important, because when you are met with disrespect, you can control yourself. You can keep a hold of your faculties so that your emotions don't get the best of you. Because if his emotions had gotten the best of him, he would most likely have hurt this young lady. Now, whether or not she deserved it, I'll let you be the judge of that. But what I'm saying is these are situations that come up in life. You meet people who don't have the needed respect for individuals in general. They don't care. And so disrespect to them is something that is common. It's something that they do on a day-to-day basis. But I would encourage that you follow the example of this young man. Keep your composure. Keep your frame. Don't react in emotion. Think about the situation. Because if you notice toward the end of the video, there was a gentleman sitting behind these two as they went through this particular encounter, and he was videotaping the whole situation. And if that young man had reacted in a way other than the way that he did, then it's a possibility that he could jeopardize everything that he has worked for. Imagine if the young man was a business owner, or imagine if the young man was involved in something that was related to public relations. See, there are all sorts of ways that this particular video could have been twisted to his detriment. And yet, in that particular instance, he was able to keep his presence of mind. He was able to think logically in the situation. He didn't allow her intentions to influence him to do anything that would cost him dearly in the future. He responded in manhood. So hats off to that young man. I think that he did well. I apologize, man, for him having to go through that. I'm sorry that he had to go through that ordeal, but I think that he handled it masterfully. I think that he handled it in a way that when he left that particular game and the individuals around him, I think that he was be able to keep, his dignity, his self-worth, because he didn't give that lady what she wanted. She wanted him to respond in anger. She wanted him to do something that probably wasn't characteristic of him. But he was able to resist that, and he was able to keep his composure. And I think that's a wonderful thing. I just wanted to highlight that for you all. This is manhood on display. We don't react in emotion. That's something that will cost you. That's something that will pull you away from what you know to be reasonable and logical. And we just don't deal in that particular way. So, we thank you for coming back. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Be easy.